Okay, so first I'd like to say just thank you for helping me with the interview.
You're welcome.
And you're a male. And firstly, can you tell me what kind of school you work for?
Um, I work for one training center, one home tutoring, I guess you'd call them like an agency. They find classes for you and prepare uh, the content,
Yeah.
and one international school,
Okay, that's good. And your age?
26.
And how many years have you been teaching in China or Shenzhen?
Um, Whole time, so I guess about 5 years, and yeah, some over 5 years now, 5.5 years, five of which have been in Shenzhen.
Okay. So the aim of this interview is to see the work-life balance the way you see it through your personal experience, through your opinions and what you feel about the topics we're going to cover. So, work-life balance is a concept including proper prioritizing between work and lifestyle, and it can be seen as juggling the five aspects of our lives: work, family, friends, health, and spirit. Um, would you like to participate in this interview?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you. So now, please, could you just give me like a little overview, like about yourself, general information, why you came to China, when you came to China, things like that.
Sure. Um, Came to China when I was, I think, 21. Yeah, 21 years old.
Wow.
Mm. I came because I didn't really have much going on back home. I wasn't having a great time, and I'd came to China before, and my grandfather lived here, so I decided to come here. Some of my uncles had been here before. They said that it's easy enough to find a job as a teacher. So yeah, that's why I came to China. Um, you like is this the background information? Do you like living and working in China?
Yeah, this is just like some examples. Yeah. Uh, yeah, to go along with the background. Yeah.
Um, I like, yeah. I mean, I really liked China for the first couple of years, and even at the beginning of COVID, I put up with it, and then I really got quite what's the word? Not disenfranchised, but disenchanted or disillusioned with living in China towards the end of COVID, and I still kind of hold that now. But
Is that because of COVID?
yeah, and also just as I learned more about, yeah, I yeah, I don't want to get too political here. Just
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, China's it's not as great as it used to be for me. As far as working in China, I think I'm well paid for what I do and for my education level. I mean, I couldn't even be employed as a teacher in my country. So the work, I don't enjoy teaching that much anymore. Sometimes I quite enjoy the international school because I feel like a real teacher. But as far as ESL is concerned, I don't enjoy it at all. Just a means to an end.
Yeah.
Um,
So when
the,
you came to China, you said that it was like through word of mouth, you knew you could find a teaching job quite easily.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So that's really the only reason why you decided to be a teacher in China, just because it was something that you knew you'd be able to get a job doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
pretty much. Yeah.
sense. And okay, so we're gonna have a look at your experience. This is kind of the same question. How's your experience living and working in Shenzhen? But we can go into like you've already told me where you work, the type of school. So how many hours do you work per week on
Um,
average?
it really varies because of I don't have like I don't work for a single company, so I don't have I'm not a full-time employee. I work like freelance, so it can vary
Okay.
a lot. So let's say I work all Sunday pretty much. including traveling, that it would be like a 10-hour day minimum. Um, Saturday, I work maybe 5 hours. Um, and then and through the week, it can, well, let's just take right now. So
Yeah,
Monday, I sometimes have a class. So let's say 2 hours Monday, um, about 4 hours Tuesday, and Wednesday, no. Thursday, I'd say 3 hours. So what we at now? We're at 9 hours.
yeah.
Um, Friday, international school, say 3 hours, and yeah, about 5 hours on Friday, and maybe 4 hours on Saturday, and like a full day Sunday, say 10 hours. Were you counting?
Yeah, yeah, I wrote it down. So it's 15, 19, 22, 26, 28 hours. 28 hours. So do you think that's considered as a part-time, or would you
It
say, well, that was full-time, just
it would
without
be part.
office hours?
Yeah, it would be. It would certainly be part time. Compared to full time, what, like 35 to 40 hour a week or whatever a normal full time job is. But for me, it feels full time because I also study,
Yeah.
you know, during the week.
And this 28 hours, this is complete teaching hours, is it? Not office hours.
Well, there's traveling hours involved in
Oh,
some
right.
of it,
Okay.
but there's no zero office hours.
0 office hours, yes.
Well, but I have to prepare some things at home, so I guess that technically is office hours, but I'm at home, not in an office.
Yeah. And is that unpaid as well? Because it's like at home, so it's not like
Yeah,
getting, yeah.
yeah, it's unpaid.
Okay. Um, would you say that you have a good work-life balance at the moment?
No, no, not at all.
No, what way do you think you're too busy or you don't have enough work?
Um, Too busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just given myself a day off, but I haven't really had a day off. I have the odd day off usually because of cancellations, but I haven't had a planned day off in maybe a year and a half. This is the first time I've given myself a day off.
Oh my goodness.
It's,
So, how does that affect your lifestyle, like your social life, mental health, things like that? Do you
for
get burnt
social life,
out? Yeah.
for social life, it does often affect it. I, sometimes I'll miss things because of work, or sometimes I won't, and then I'll miss work, or I'll just have a shit day. I mean,
Yeah.
I try not to let it ruin my social life. I really do. But yeah, certainly I would like to. I mean, I would like to do more sports, not just going out drinking. But a lot of the times I can't meet people. When you organize something like badminton or tennis, and there's loads of people involved, about even if I'm the one who said we should do it, about half the time when everyone else has figured out a time, I can't actually do it because they couldn't do it when so that happens so often that I get muscled out of things I've tried to organize
Yeah.
because of work.
Oh, that's terrible. Um, so if you could choose your perfect work-life balance, what would it look like? For example, how many hours would you work per week and like how much vacation time would you have? Things like that.
Mm, well, I mean, I also like working and I have to work. I'm not,
Yeah.
so I would like between 40. I wouldn't even mind working a lot as long as it was Monday to Friday and I knew when I was coming home and I knew I had the weekends off. So let's say if I was working nine to six, maybe Monday to Friday, that'd be fine. And holidays, public holidays, plus if I could have my like 3 weeks a year of my own choice, my own choosing, I'd be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, that sounds good. So the companies that you currently work for, do they help you maintain a good work-life balance?
No, 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 no. They would if they had their way, yeah, I'd be doing a lot more. They're fucking all three of them are like, well, actually not the international school, but the training center and the home tutoring one are always pushing for me to do more, and I have to really stand my ground. And just
Why
refuse.
why do you think that is? Do you think it's because their culture is like 996, so they try and push that onto you, or maybe because they've not got enough teachers?
Yeah, mostly just they're desperate looking for work. It's money for them. My time equals money for them.
Yeah,
I think because they all know I'm quite honest about my situation. None of them think that I'm being lazy by not taking any more. They know that I'm doing a lot. It's just
yeah,
they're just profit for them. So of course they're going to try and get as much from you as they can.
yeah, it's all about the money.
Mm.
Do you often receive positive feedback from your employees?
Employees or employers?
Thank you.
Employers, you mean, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, uh, well, one of them. Yeah, one of them. Really, the other one I don't talk too much. They don't like me because I don't do that much for them, and I don't like them. I mean, they're all right, but I just show up and we never talk. But the other one's very sweet. Always they're very tentative when they ask me to do something because I mean they'll ask, but they kind of are used to me saying no now, and they know I'm doing a lot. And yeah, they give me positive feedback, and they're always trying to boost my ego maybe sometimes.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
good.
I don't know if they're trying to boost my ego or not, but I don't like sometimes being complimented that much. But yeah, they do. They give me a lot of nice feedback. They're quite sweet.
That's good. And I was going to say, when you do receive positive feedback, how does it make you feel? Like, does it make you want to do a better job, like at
Mm,
teaching, or
I think it gives you confidence.
okay, th
Um, it doesn't really make me want to do a better job. It makes me kind of a little bit proud or a little bit happy. Everyone likes to get a compliment.
yeah, yeah,
But it doesn't like make me more motivated.
no,
If on the other hand I was getting negative feedback, actually that would make me motivated because I
really,
don't want to be one of those teachers who just take the piss, just show up and take the money and run.
yeah,
Um, so actually, I have been given negative feedback before, and at the beginning, when I was learning, and
yeah.
it motivated me to do a better job.
Oh wow, that's interesting. That's good. Um, in your opinion, is there anything that your employers can do to help you get a more balanced work-life balance?
The, the biggest thing they could do is stop texting me in the middle of the fucking night.
Oh, that's interesting. Because there's new
That's
laws against that, isn't there?
Yeah,
Well, in some countries.
exactly. Yeah, that's the biggest thing about me is when I'm home, I can't relax. Like when I get home, I like to like watch something and eat something, and then I don't want to think about work at all. And if they're like texting me, I won't eat. I mean, I'll reply if I have to, but sometimes it really annoys me. And if they're just talking about nonsense, I won't reply. I'll just ignore them till the next day. But if it's something I have to do, I won't do anything until I've dealt with them.
Yep.
I can't relax. I can't eat and enjoy my night and enjoy my evening off or whatever until I've done all my work. So I absolutely hate being contacted um, past a certain time, especially when it's something that can wait or is unnecessary
Yeah.
in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. So at the moment, do you think that you work too much or too little?
I would say too much, but that's only because I'm studying. If I weren't studying, I would be yeah, I'd be quite happy with the hours I'm doing now because I would have, Monday to Friday, most of those days free. But again, this is not the ideal
Mm.
schedule I'd like to have.
Yeah, because if you had Monday to Fridays free, it's not like the right social time to match everyone
Yeah.
else.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could deal with it. I could live with it, but not forever. Um, yeah, to answer your question, I think I'm working too much, but as I said, if I wasn't studying, then the amount of hours I'm doing would probably be too little if this was my full-time job.
Yep. Um, is your company quite flexible? For example, if you need a day off, how would they deal with that?
Mm, they're quite flexible in that I can I can tell them when I'm free, and they just have to accept it now. Like, you know,
Okay.
so that's. But I mean, if there's a class planned, usually it has to be an emergency, or I need to ask off quite in advance. Like I'll ask for Christmas off or my birthday off or something like that. I'll tell them well in advance. If I just decided I needed a day off, no, that wouldn't go down well.
Yeah, would you get punished like a dock salary or would they just be
I
upset?
don't think I wouldn't get paid for the class, obviously, because that's
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
my.
of
But
course.
I don't think they would dock my salary. Years ago, if I was late when I first started working for N3, they would dock my salary a little.
Yeah.
Um, no, I don't know. If I kept doing it, I think they would just give me a lot of stern warnings and then maybe eventually give me some kind of dock punishment. But I've never done it. It's, you know,
Yeah. Do you feel that you're having a positive impact and a meaningful work teaching in China?
sometimes. Not,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, some of these students for N3, there's this girl that I had at the very beginning, and she must have been like 7, and now like she's like 12 or something. And it's just I've had her like for years. Now I only have her online, and I've just been talking to her. We've been talking like social issues, debates, and stuff for years, and I've watched her grow, and she can speak very well. And I mean I can see that she's adopted some of the way I speak and some of the language I use, and it's great. Um, Other times no, like especially with training centers, you see the kids like once a week, and I feel like it's maybe a waste of time for them, not for me, because I'm paid for it. But yeah, no, it depends. Sometimes I feel like I've made a good impact, and other times I no.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, how do people around you view foreign teachers? Like you can talk about how your Chinese people view foreign teachers and how other foreigners view foreign teachers, in your
Mm,
opinion.
well, I don't. I mean, I don't speak to that many Chinese people, and
Okay.
um, but I know from talking to people like both my exes, a lot of Chinese people they think that foreign teachers are um yeah, not great. Like they wouldn't want their children marrying them, because they think they don't do that much, and maybe they're just here for a ride and um, easy money, and but it's not much of a career. And so I don't know this, but I've just heard that. So I don't
Yeah.
think they're thought too highly of uh, by Chinese people.
Yeah.
And as far as other foreigners are concerned, a lot of them are teachers, but the ones who aren't, um, yeah, I don't know. Not sure. I don't think anyone like thinks they're getting rich or like I
Yeah.
don't think they're regarded that highly. They're just but they're a huge percentage of the foreigners in China.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
So I don't know, but I don't really care.
Do you think that you're getting a fair salary?
Yeah, for what I do, I don't know how long it'll go on, but yeah, it's definitely £30 an hour to fucking. I mean, sometimes it's. I mean, I probably get on average £30, £30 odd an hour, and
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I've earned it, and other times I feel like what on earth? Like I'm just reading a few words and playing games, and I'm like, this is insane. But
What
other times, yeah, you definitely earn it.
what do you think about the companies that employ a few teachers, but they're all from different countries? So some are like native teachers and some maybe from like South Africa or different countries, and then they get different salaries, but they work in the same amount of hours. Do you think that's fair or unfair?
I think it's just a fact of life. There's people pay more for an accent they want their kids to have versus one they don't want them to have. I
Yeah.
mean that's really what we're paid for is to to show their kids how native people speak or people who can speak English well speak, as opposed to maybe a poor Chinese teacher who's teaching English but doesn't actually can't speak English very well. So I think it's just a fact of life. I mean, it would suck if you were one of them, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Does the work culture in your country, how does it compare to working in China?
Mm, um,
For example, like, can you go to your boss and say that something's wrong in England or in Scotland?
yeah, definitely.
And do you think you could also do the same in China?
Uh, well, I've always been able to.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's different for different people who work for different companies.
Yeah.
Um, I think in my work experience in the UK, were the bosses were actually a lot nastier than the ones here.
Oh,
I think
wow.
I think I mean that's because we're foreigners and I'm also the way I treat my employers is very different from the way a Chinese might treat their employers because we have different cultures. Um, so often I can be a little bit rude or dismissive or things like that because and they kind of accept it because they know they're dealing with something different. We're
Yeah.
foreigners, you know. Um, yeah, I've had no problems really talking to my bosses. They've always been quite sweet and accommodating.
Okay.
And in when I worked for my in well for my father, that's obviously a bit different. But the various jobs I had in the UK, the bosses were a lot harsher.
Yeah. Do you think that's also to do with the supply and demand? So they can't just fire you as easily here.
Yeah, especially the way I've been operating for years as freelance and the position I've got myself into, like they kind of need me, and I know it. They know it. They know I know it.
Yeah.
I can be at the beginning. If they said jump, I'd jump. But over the years, it's different.
Yeah. Got more confidence in where you stand.
Hmm.
Oh, so what's the main benefits of working and living in China for you?
Mm, well, the money obviously is nice. For what I do.
Yeah.
Um, Probably more just like China, really, rather than working in China. But I think I like a lot of the things in China. Everything like the big city, and I can go and get food whenever I want, or I can get anything I want really, at any time of the day. And mm,
Convenience.
yeah, it's very convenient. But that again, then again, maybe I mean, I'm from a small town, and I never really lived in a city until I came here as well. So there's a difference there. Um, Working, I don't think there's many advantages besides the money. Like people here, they're always contacting you. They're
Yeah.
always talking to you. There was none of that. Also, maybe that might have been the time, but I had none of that in the UK.
Yeah.
No one ever messaged me unless I was working. Unless they might message me like, "Oh, can you work on Sunday or something?" But
Yeah.
I wasn't having to deal with things. But also, I was working in less professional roles, so there was also that. It was like waiting or working in kitchens or restaurants and stuff. So I think if you are a teacher in the UK, you also have this problem of having to work more than your hours.
Yeah. It's
I can't think
likely.
of any major benefits. There's a lot of drawbacks. For
Well, that's the next
example,
question. Yeah.
mm,
What are the main disadvantages?
one is a language barrier,
Yeah.
obviously. Another one is there's a especially for teaching, there's a lack of upward mobility.
Yeah.
You know, like there's some pay rises you can get, but like it's rare to become a manager, a foreign manager of other teachers, and I think it's difficult to open up a school unless you have a Chinese partner as well. So
Yeah.
let's say a foreigner could open up a school, but they have to deal with like the government and licensing and all these things. Like, so it's super difficult. So they need a Chinese partner.
Yeah, it's not something you'd be able to do by yourself.
Yeah, and then obviously visas, constant visas, and contracts. I mean, I don't have a contract, but I know people who do, and it's no laughing matter. Um, so yeah, that's a major disadvantage.
So do you see a future in Shenzhen? Like, how long do you think you'd stay here? Or how long would you stay in your current company?
Um, well, I'm leaving Shenzhen soon, but that's not actually Shenzhen's fault.
Yeah,
I mean, I would happily live here and do what I plan to do in Guangzhou and Shenzhen. So, we'll just kind of say that. Like,
yeah.
um, I don't know. I want to see how the I don't know how to say this. I just want to see how what China's like, over the next several years. I always want to have the option to go home. Well, obviously, but I mean,
Yeah.
also, I have a girlfriend. She's Chinese. If we do settle down, um, yeah, it's gonna be a long talk if I don't want it to be in China. Um,
Hmm.
I'm trying to make this relevant though. How long would you stay in your current company? I would my current I don't want to be doing what I'm doing now after I graduate. I want to work in an international school and have a full-time contract, full-time job.
Yeah, so if you, after you've graduated and hopefully working in an international school, um, do you think that you could work in an international school until you're 50 or 60 years old, for example?
No,
No,
I
why
don't want to
not?
do that. I just don't think I think I'd hate it. I think I want to do this just now just because it's high salary. I still actually want to do something involved in business, but I want to think about it for a while and in the meantime earn some money and learn it and see if I actually enjoy teaching properly.
Yeah. So at the
Right.
moment, would you say you don't really have the passion for teaching, or you're just a bit unsure, you want to keep your options open?
Yeah, I would say that. Want to keep my
Oh,
options open.
I think you touched on the next question a little earlier. It's do you have the opportunity to grow in your company up the organizational ladder?
The ones I work in, no. I've
No.
I've reached the highest pay grade in N3.
Yeah.
Um, the other one I wouldn't want to work for them anyway. The international school, I doubt I could ever be anything more than just a classroom teacher. So yeah,
Okay. So do you ever feel burnout at work?
yeah, yeah. At work, I mean, just in my life, so it's a
Yeah,
mixture
yeah, yeah.
of everything. But yeah, I feel burnout sometimes. Yeah.
And do you have an input on the materials that you teach generally?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's
In
good.
I have except in the training center, they're terrible for that. I mean, they have just stupid materials, and I just have to teach them, even if it's a joke. But in my international school, I have a lot of control, and in my home tutoring, I also have a lot of control.
So in the training center, if you don't want to teach a particular topic that they've asked you to, or you want to expand on that, is that sometimes a problem?
Yeah, it's more if I want to expand on it, I can, and I'll sometimes if I think it's necessary, I'll just ignore the TA and just try and get them to learn some other sentences. But they'll have like weird dialogues which are just ridiculous, and I have to do that part even though it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
But it's never really a problem. But I guess if I refuse to do it, it might be a problem. But I've never done that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, the next question is also quite similar. It's, do you think teaching in China couldn't be a stable or lifelong job? And you said you're not really sure at the moment about that, right? You would prefer to work in business. Oh, hello. Sorry, can you hear me? Hello, James? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh yeah, sorry, I lost you then. Can you hear
I
me?
turned my VPN off in case that
Oh,
was the problem.
oh, sorry about that.
Oh, it's my fault.
Would you say that you're fully integrated into China? For example, can you speak Chinese or do you have like some Chinese friends, girlfriend, things like that?
No, definitely not fully integrated in China whatsoever. But yeah, not at all. But yeah, I can speak some Chinese, and I have a Chinese girlfriend, and I have some Chinese friends. But certainly not fully integrated.
But do you think that's an important part of living and working in China to like have a Chinese girlfriend, for example, and some friends and speak a little bit of Chinese? Or do you think it doesn't really matter just for teaching in China?
No, you can be an expat anywhere. It doesn't mean you have to integrate yourself into the country. I mean,
Okay.
it's nice, and you should a little. I mean, having a girlfriend is just. I mean, I could have had a foreign girlfriend. It doesn't matter. But I think it's important that you can speak a little bit, and enjoy the culture and things like that. I hate the expats who completely don't integrate whatsoever. But
Yeah.
there's no need to fully integrate yourself.
Okay. So if you had a friend who was considering moving to China, what advice would you give them so they could maintain a good work-life balance?
Mm, I'd say be very careful um, when you're looking for jobs, and just say exactly what you need, and get everything straight before you sign a contract,
Okay.
so that they don't take the piss and work you to death. Make sure you're going to get the things you need before you sign up, I would
Yeah.
say. And it's just stand your ground, and if if they're texting you all the time about things which don't matter, just don't reply.
Yeah, put the boundaries in place.
Yeah, exactly.
So recently, some countries have implemented the 4-day work week, and the results have been really positive. Like those companies have been more productive and they offer the same pay, things like that. Do you think this could be duplicated in China, teaching in China?
Mm, no, I don't think so. I think like maybe, for example, like factories in Germany, or someplace, or any kind of business really. If you don't make people do like meaningless things, and have like silly meetings and stuff like that, and uh, like what they call team building exercises and things like this, and you just get people to come in and do their work, this can work. But for teaching, it's all about how many classes you can teach. So I think if you were doing a 4-day week, I don't, a 4-day week, you could still only do the same amount of classes
Yeah,
that you would do in 4 days of your 5-day week or 6-day week. So they wouldn't be able to pay you as much, or else the cost would have to be passed on to the parents. I just
yeah.
don't think it would work. Not
Um,
not for teaching anyway, unless they maybe cut out all office hours.
yeah.
Mhm. I still think because yeah, I still don't think it would work.
Okay. Um, what about if you was working full time for the international school and you did have a lot of office hours? Do you think that all those office hours are very necessary?
Mm, I think some are as a like as a not for ESL, office hours are not necessary at all. But if for a real teacher, I think office hours are absolutely necessary to catch up on your work, to plan your classes, to grade, to prepare exams and stuff like that. So I think
Yeah,
you certainly need office hours, but I don't know how many you need because I don't have experience with the um
yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
don't know.
So if you had your own school and you was hiring foreign teachers, what would you do to retain those employees? Is there anything that you do differently?
I would I would if we were doing ESL, I wouldn't make them come in for office hours, or I'd make them come in for like just as much as they needed to do. For example, if they need to make PPTs,
Yeah.
then but they could also choose to make their PPTs at home as long as they were doing it and they were of high enough standard. I wouldn't make them come in for no reason, and I think they would appreciate that. I'd also I'd pay them well, pay them. I'd just try and help them with grievances. As far as work-life balance, yeah, I think that what I do is just, as I said, like they would have to work if it was ESL in the evenings and weekends, and
Yeah.
maybe they have 2 days off per week. Can't get around that, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't make them come in for no reason.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that
do
makes sense.
doesn't do anyone any favors. So then they could at least enjoy their afternoons and have some time to exercise and shop and have a more relaxing life.
Yeah, be at work when they just need to work, more like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything that you think I've missed or you'd like to add about any of your experiences or anything like that?
Mm, no, I can't think of anything.
Okay, well, that's it. So thanks so much for helping with the interview.
I'm happy to do it. Hope it helps.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Thanks so much. Oh, I'll stop
Cool.
recording now.